There are many measures, worship methods and elements to please Mahadev, Shiva, which are effective in attaining peace, happiness, prosperity and salvation in the life of devotees. Mahadev, also known as Bholenath, is famous for his love and blessings towards very simple and poor devotees. His nature is very kind and compassionate, so he is pleased with the true faith and devotion of devotees. The ways of worshipping and meditating Shiva are very diverse, but in this article we will discuss some effective and traditional measures to please Mahadev. By adopting these measures, devotees can get the blessings of Shiva and overcome the problems of life. Meditation and sadhana of Mahadev with a true heart. Meditation and sadhana of Mahadev is an important way through which he can be pleased. It is necessary to have a true mind, devotion and faith in the worship of Shiva. Mahadev is worshipped as a deity who blesses a person who is completely devoted to his sadhana. When seekers meditate and chant Shiva mantras, Mahadev understands the potential of their soul to connect with the divine and showers divine blessings in their lives. The most famous mantra among Shiva mantras is Om Namah Shivaya, chanting which brings peace of mind and brings positive changes in life. Mahamrityunjaya mantra is also considered very effective to please Mahadev. Om Triambakam Yajamhe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanamrityo Mukshyama Amritat. This mantra is especially very effective to overcome the fear of death, achieve true happiness in life and improve health. Rudrabhishek. Rudrabhishek is a special worship method of Mahadev, in which various types of water, milk, honey, ghee, etc. are offered on the Shivling. This worship is especially done on the day of Shivratri or at particularly holy places. Through Rudrabhishek, the grace of Lord Shiva is attained and all sins are destroyed. It is very beneficial to keep chanting Om Namah Shivaya while performing Abhishek on Shivling. Fasting of Mahashivratri. Mahashivratri is one of the major festivals of Mahadev, which is celebrated every year in February and March. On this day, Mahadev is specially worshipped and devotees fast throughout the day and meditate on Lord Shiva by staying awake all night. The worship done on the day of Mahashivratri is of great importance. On this day, especially pouring water on Shivling, offering Bel Patra, and chanting Om Namah Shivaya pleases Mahadev very much. Offering Bel Patra, Bhang and Dhatura. Mahadev loves Bel Patra very much. Offering Bel Patra on Shivling is an integral part of his worship. Writing Om Namah Shivaya on Bel Patra and offering water along with it pleases Mahadev especially. Apart from this, Bhang and Dhatura are also offered to Mahadev, which are considered his favorite substances. These are simple and effective ways of worship which are adopted to please Lord Shiva quickly. Prayer and dedication with a true heart. The most important aspect of worshipping Mahadev is devotion and dedication. When a devotee prays to Mahadev with a true heart, leaving behind all his ego, pride and vices, Mahadev blesses him. Mahadev helps his devotees in any form, whether it is mental peace, overcoming difficulties in life, or getting rid of a particular crisis. He never disappoints his devotees and always guides them towards happiness, prosperity and peace. Charity and service. Another important way to please Mahadev is charity and service. Lord Shiva has taught us to help others in our lives and fulfill our responsibility towards the society. Feeding the poor, helping the helpless, and helping the needy is very dear to Mahadev. This type of service not only purifies our soul, but also brings blessings of Lord Shiva. Chanting and meditating on the name of Shiva. Chanting and meditating on the name of Mahadev is a simple but effective way by which one can attain the blessings of Lord Shiva. If a person is facing stress or troubles in his life, he can chant the name of Lord Shiva. It provides mental peace and paves the way to bring prosperity in life. Understanding the form of Shiva. The form of Mahadev is very mysterious and enigmatic. His 3 eyes, bhabhoot in the mouth, and matted locks adorned with the water of the Ganges symbolize his divine form. Understanding Mahadev and thinking deeply about his existence makes us realize the truth and purpose of life. It leads to self-knowledge and inspiration to follow the right path, so that we can be free from worldly sorrows by taking refuge in Lord Shiva. Worshipping Mahadev is very simple and straightforward, but true faith and devotion towards him is necessary. To get the blessings of Mahadev, we should not only worship, but also exchange kindness, dedication and service in our lives. By reverence and devotion towards Mahadev, we can attain happiness, peace and prosperity in life, and with his blessings, we can get rid of all the troubles of our life. By the grace of Lord Shiva, not only material happiness and peace is attained in life, but mental peace, spiritual progress and salvation is also attained. Therefore, worship of Mahadev should always be considered as a sadhana and dedication. Mahadev, also known as Shiva, is the creator, preserver and destroyer of the universe. He is the supreme lord of the entire universe and the greatest yogi. No amount of words spoken about him can fully express his infinite glory and divinity. Yet, by presenting a long and good quote on Mahadev, we can understand the depth of his existence and his unique form. Mahadev's form is extremely mysterious and vast. He is the lord of Yamraj, the husband of goddess Parvati, the father of Ganesha and Kartikeya, and the epitome of all gods. His avatar looks simple, but he has a tremendous power and mysterious energy within him that we cannot even try our best to understand. One of Shiva's names is Mahadev, which signifies his highest and best form. Mahadev's form is formless and at the same time his many forms, such as Trishul, Nandi, Ganga, and Chandrama, symbolize his countless aspects. His Trishul is not just a weapon, but it expresses the trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, Shiva. The trident signifies that Shiva is responsible for the creation, preservation, and destruction of the universe. He is subliminally aware of the flow of time, and the trident in his hand indicates that he is in control of time and the universe. The serpent hanging around his neck signifies his power, protection, and destructive nature. The moon on his forehead, which changes every night, signifies his coolness and balance. The most powerful form of Mahadev is Rudra, who appears as the destroyer god. He is responsible for the destruction of nature, but his destruction is not just destruction, but the beginning of new creation. Whenever atrocities increase on earth and the wave of religion wavers, the Rudra form of Mahadev appears, and he destroys untruth and unrighteousness and restores truth and dharma. The third form of Mahadev is Nath. Nath means the one who resides in anyone's heart. This form of Mahadev shows his yogi and ascetic nature. He is a symbol of meditation, yoga, and sadhana. Mahadev has meditated for years in the caves of the Himalayas, where he experienced the union of the soul and the divine by staying away from the world. His meditation and sadhana are the guides towards the best purpose of life. Another special form of Mahadev is Bhairav, which shows his cruel and scary form. The form of Bhairav shows that Shiva also has a cruel power inside him, which manifests when it is not possible to protect dharma in ordinary ways. The Bhairav form shows Mahadev's love for justice and his struggle against untruth. His relationship with his wife goddess Parvati is also very mysterious and loving. The love of Parvati and Shiva is not only divine, but it shows that Shiva feels the need for a power to manifest himself. The form of Parvati is a source of inspiration for Shiva, and together with her, Shiva has done many great works for the welfare of humanity. The Ganges flowing over Shiva's head also has a special significance. Ganga, which is considered the holiest river on earth, flows over Mahadev's head, showing that Mahadev's blessings and power are the purest and holiest on this earth. His head is washed with holy water, which destroys sins and showers virtue in the world. Another amazing quality of Mahadev is his spiritual form. He is the symbol of the formless Brahman, who is present in all living beings. By worshipping him, a person attains enlightenment and gets true peace. By doing Mahadev's sadhana, a person not only gets freedom from worldly sorrows, but also reaches the highest level of the soul. Shiva's devotees believe that anyone can come to Mahadev's court with a true heart and get a solution to their problems. Worshipping Mahadev, fasting and chanting his mantras brings happiness, peace and prosperity in life. By worshipping him, bad karma ends and the soul gets peace. There is a famous saying about Shiva: Shiva is Bholenath, his heart never changes. This is why the followers of Mahadev consider him to be the simplest, kindest and most lovable deity. He understands every feeling of his devotees, in whatever form he may be, and is always with his devotees. This form of his is the most lovable, as he always opens the doors of his grace and blessings for any person. Worshipping Mahadev not only gives a person spiritual advancement, but also makes him an empowered and self-reliant person. His life teaches us that all the problems in the world can be solved by meditation and sadhana. Receiving the blessings of Mahadev brings a new direction, energy and prosperity in one's life. Overall, Mahadev is a unique and extremely powerful deity, whose worship and devotion makes extraordinary changes and spiritual advancement possible in life. No words are enough about him, but his glory can only be experienced by a true devotee. The blessings of Mahadev fill our lives with completeness, peace and prosperity, and he guides us in every step of our lives. Om Namah Shivaya. Formless form of Lord Shiva and no specific time of his birth. Lord Shiva is born in the scriptures in the formless form. He is considered invincible, unborn and infinite. He is beyond time, space and circumstances. He was neither born from any place nor was he born at any time. Shiva's formless form is different from his concrete form. This means that he has no beginning and he is beyond all forms of creation. His birth is beyond the origin and end of this universe. He is present everywhere at every moment. Shiva and the origin of the universe. Lord Shiva is associated with the creation, sustenance and destruction of the universe. The form of Parbrahma, Almighty, is more appropriate for him. It is described in many Sanskrit scriptures and Puranas that he is born from the supreme element itself. Being in the form of Nirakar Brahma, he is seen in a state of supreme peace at the time of creation of the universe. His form does not have any limited shape, rather it is present in every place and time. Origin of the Sakar form of Shiva. The Sakar form of the great god Lord Shiva appeared at times when he incarnated for a particular work or purpose. Many stories are also famous about the origin of the Sakar form of Lord Shiva. According to a famous story, Lord Shiva manifested himself in Sakar form so that the atrocities of demons and asuras could be ended in the world. This form of his came to be a symbol of power, courage and destruction. The story of Lord Shiva and Goddess Sati. Another major story about the birth of Lord Shiva is that when the creation of the universe was taking place, the background of the works of Brahma and Vishnu was being created due to the incarnation of Lord Shiva. The story of Goddess Sati is also associated with Lord Shiva. Goddess Sati was the wife of Lord Shiva. Her father King Daksha had insulting thoughts towards Shiva, due to which Sati sacrificed herself in fire. Lord Shiva was very sad to receive the body of Sati, and he started doing the Tandav dance. Due to the Tandav, there was a terrible destruction in the universe. After this destruction, Lord Vishnu divided Sati's body into 51 parts, and these parts became famous as Shakti Pithas. This proves that Lord Shiva was not only born in a physical form, but he also joined with Goddess Sati to appear. Marriage of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. Lord Shiva's life is very mysterious and mystical. in which another important event is his marriage with Goddess Parvati. Goddess Parvati had performed very rigorous penance to marry Lord Shiva. She was the daughter of Himalaya, and she had an unwavering love for Shiva. Lord Shiva was pleased with Parvati's penance and accepted her as his wife. It was a symbolic form of Parvati's penance and her devotion to Lord Shiva that she attained Lord Shiva on the strength of her purity and devotion. Battle with Shiva and demons. Lord Shiva is also born as the destroyer of demons and asuras. It is said in the scriptures that when the atrocities of the demons and devils increased on the earth, Lord Shiva took the manifestation of his power and destroyed these demons. This showed that Lord Shiva was not only born in a physical form, but the purpose of his existence was to protect the society and the creation. His form and actions were for the good of the creation. Role of Shiva Tandav and destruction. It is said about Lord Shiva that he is a destroyer, but his destruction is not for destruction, but for reconstruction and creation. When there is any imbalance in the creation due to the actions of Brahma and Vishnu, then Lord Shiva corrects it with his Tandav dance. The form of the Tandav dance is very powerful and destructive, but after this a new creation is created. In this form, Shiva is born as a powerful element, which maintains the balance of the creation. The Tapasya form of Lord Shiva. Another important view about the birth of Lord Shiva is that he keeps himself immersed in penance. Shiva is also known as a unique yogi and ascetic. The purpose of his penance and meditation is only self-realization and unity with Brahman. It is because of this meditation and penance that he is kind to the devotees who seek salvation and peace. Shiva is born in this form as self-realization within every individual. Overall, there is no definite birth of the origin of Lord Shiva, as he is eternal and formless. His existence is infinite and unborn. He is the element of creation, sustenance and destruction of the universe. The physical form of Lord Shiva originated in his various forms, such as his relationship with Goddess Arti, marriage with Goddess Parvati, and his contribution in the destruction of the demons. His birth is not only a physical event, but a divine mystery linked to his reality and his purpose. Shiva's birth is a source of peace, protection and blessings for his devotees at all times and in every situation. Shri Shiv Parvati Shiva Mahapuran Katha. Shiv Mahapuran is a major and ancient text of Hinduism, which describes in detail the form of Lord Shiva, his Leelas, his wonderful qualities and various aspects of his life. This Purana contains stories of the relationship of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, their marriage, their family and many important events of their life. In Shiva Mahapuran, the story of the union of Shiva and Parvati is especially considered very important, as it is a symbol of love, sacrifice and devotion. Union of Shiva and Parvati. The union of Shiva and Parvati is a wonderful and divine story. Goddess Parvati was born to Himalaya and Meenavati. She was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva and found only Shiva worthy as her husband. From the time of Parvati's birth, the purpose of her worship was to marry Lord Shiva. Her devotion was so deep that she started doing hard penance, so that Lord Shiva would accept her as his life partner. Lord Shiva saw Parvati's penance and resolved to accept her in his life. But, due to Shiva's temperamental difficulties and his yogi life, he was indifferent to Goddess Parvati's love. He used to remain engrossed in his meditation and used to do rigorous penance, staying away from society. This lifestyle of Shiva made Parvati deepen her devotion and love for him. Parvati's penance. Parvati did a very difficult penance, in which she used to fast continuously and remain engrossed in the meditation of Shiva only. In this penance, she did meditation of Lord Shiva by sitting in one place without eating or drinking anything day and night. The fruit of her penance finally came out, and Lord Shiva appeared to her. Shiva said to Parvati, "Pleased with your devotion, I accept you as my husband." Shiva resolved to marry Parvati, and their union took place as a divine event. This union established an ideal in the world that with true love and devotion, even God fulfills the wishes of devotees. The marriage of Shiva and Parvati became a symbol of true and exclusive devotion of life. After the marriage of Shiva-Parvati, Shiva and Parvati got married, and together they created a new creation in the world. The presence of Goddess Parvati with Lord Shiva gave him another divine form. After this marriage, their relationship became even stronger, and together they performed the work of creation, maintenance and destruction of the world. Parvati blessed their house along with Lord Shiva, and both protected the world with their power. The union of Shiva and Parvati is not just a love story, but a divine story, which is a source of ideal and inspiration for humanity. This marriage is a symbol of true devotion, love, sacrifice and peace. Depiction of Shiva-Parvati's family. After the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, they had a son, who was named Ganesh. Ganesh is considered to be the beloved son of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and is worshipped as the god of wisdom, prosperity and success. The story of Ganesh Ji is also very famous, in which the incident of their head swapping is prominent. After this, Lord Shiva and Parvati's other son Kartikeya was born. Kartikeya is famous as the god of war and is worshipped as the destroyer of demons and asuras. Shiva-Parvati's family is ideal, in which the relationship between parents and children has an important place. This family is a symbol of love, respect and unity. By listening to the story of this family, devotees wish for peace and prosperity in their lives. The Mahapuran story of Shiva-Parvati teaches us that all sorrows can be eradicated by love and devotion. The union of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati is not only a divine event, but it is an invaluable message to the world that happiness, peace and prosperity can be achieved in life only through true love and penance. This story of Shiva Mahapuran inspires us to rise above our worldly worries and devote ourselves to the peace of the soul and devotion to the divine. Marriage of Shiva and Parvati. The marriage of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati was a very sacred and divine event. Before the marriage, Lord Shiva asked Goddess Parvati to undergo several difficult tests. Goddess Parvati passed these tests with complete devotion and dedication. After this, Lord Shiva accepted her as his life partner. In this marriage, Lord Shiva revealed his full power and form, and Goddess Parvati pleased Shiva through her purity and devotion. The marriage of Shiva and Parvati was not just a religious act, but it became a symbol of love, dedication, and devotion. The union of the to symbolize not only love, but the attainment of the best purpose of life. Birth of Ganesha and Kartikeya. After Shiva and Parvati got married, they started living life as an ideal couple. Their marriage gave birth to two sons, Ganesha and Kartikeya. The birth of Ganesha is very interesting. One day, after taking a bath, Parvati created a hair from her body and gave it life and sent it to guard her door. At the same time, Lord Shiva returned home, and Ganesha prevented him from entering. Shiva became angry at this and cut off Ganesha's head. When Parvati saw this, she, filled with grief, asked Shiva for her son's life. Then Lord Shiva attached an elephant's head to Ganesha and gave him life. Lord Ganesha is still worshipped as Vignaharta. The birth of Kartikeya is also an important event. Kartikeya, who is considered the god of war, was born to Lord Shiva and Parvati. He is considered the destroyer of demons and asuras, and is worshipped for achieving victory in war. Divine Leelas of Shiva-Parvati. Lord Shiva and Parvati have many divine Leelas together. Together they perform the works of creation, sustenance and destruction of the world. While Lord Shiva has the power of destruction, Goddess Parvati along with him nurtures the creation. This wonderful coordination of creation, sustenance and destruction has been manifested in the world through Shiva and Parvati. Complete story of Shiva-Parvati marriage. Parvati's birth story. Parvati was born to Himalaya and his wife Menka. Born in Himalaya, Parvati is considered a symbol of beauty, peace, and devotion. Since childhood, her mind was particularly attracted towards Lord Shiva. She wanted to become a great devotee of Shiva and always worshipped him. Parvati's penance. Parvati decided to do rigorous penance to get Lord Shiva. One day, on the peak of the Himalayas, Parvati decided that she would make Lord Shiva her life partner. For this, she started penance. She would worship Shiva only day and night and torture her body during meditation. She engaged in her penance by staying without food for a long time. Lord Shiva's Maya. Lord Shiva was very pleased with Parvati's penance, but he wanted to see how deep is Parvati's truthfulness and devotion. Lord Shiva used his Maya and gave many troubles to Parvati to confuse her. He manifested himself in various forms, such as a simple beggar, a Gandharv, and many other forms. Lord Shiva did all this only to see how steadfastly Parvati was engaged in her penance. Parvati recognized Lord Shiva's illusion, and she rejected all kinds of temptations. Her devotion was unwavering, and finally Lord Shiva saw her dedication. Marriage of Shiva-Parvati. Lord Shiva was pleased with Parvati's penance and appeared before her. He appeared before her and said, "O Parvati, your penance and devotion have impressed me immensely. The hard penance you have done to get me with all your heart is unparalleled. I accept you as my wife." Lord Shiva then called all the gods, and the marriage of Shiva-Parvati was solemnized. The marriage was attended by gods, sages and Gandharvs. At this time, Goddess Parvati presented an ideal in the world by marrying Mahakal, that anyone can attain their favorite deity through true love and devotion. Importance of Mahashivratri. The festival of Mahashivratri is celebrated to commemorate the marriage of Shiva-Parvati. Lord Shiva is especially worshipped on this day, and this day is a very sacred and virtuous day for the devotees. Chanting the mantras of Lord Shiva, fasting and night vigil on Mahashivratri is considered very auspicious. On this day, devotees believe that by worshipping Lord Shiva, all their sins are eliminated and they attain salvation. Marriage of Shiva-Parvati and message of life. The marriage of Shiva and Parvati is not just a religious story, but it provides the most important teachings of love, devotion, sacrifice, and dedication in life. Parvati ji did hard penance to attain Lord Shiva, while Lord Shiva accepted her as his life partner with his grace. This story teaches us that if there is loyalty and dedication in any work, then success is achieved in it. Through this marriage, it is also clear that the union of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati is not just a symbol of love, but it is also a message of completeness, peace and harmony in life. While Lord Shiva is a symbol of penance, sadhana and meditation, Mother Parvati is considered the goddess of love, devotion and power. The union of both gives the message that balance is necessary in every sphere of life, along with hard work, love, devotion and power are also necessary. This story is the saga of the importance of Mahashivratri and the love, devotion and sacrifice of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. According to this story, Parvati ji did a tough penance to get Lord Shiva. Shiva ji was already an ascetic and a god who was immersed in meditation, so he had to go through many difficulties to test Parvati ji on the advice of Lord Vishnu. The more Parvati ji got to know about Shiva, the more her love grew. Parvati's penance. Mata Parvati was the daughter of Himalaya and Menka. Since childhood, she had unwavering love and devotion towards Shiva ji. She knew that to see Lord Shiva, she would have to do tough penance. For this purpose, she started penance on the Himalayan mountain. She continued to do her penance with full devotion and dedication. She not only gave up her food, water, and sleep, but also started torturing her body. She remained absorbed in the meditation of Shivaji without stopping and without getting tired for years. Lord Shiva's test. As a result of Parvati's hard penance, Lord Shiva realized Parvati's devotion. He knew that Parvati's love was true, but he wanted to see how determinedly Parvati could perform the penance to get him without any worldly attractions. Lord Shiva put many obstacles to disrupt her penance. He showed his evil power in front of Parvati through his Maya, which he tried to scare her, but Parvati rejected all the temptations. There was no decrease in her faith and devotion. Finally, Lord Shiva decided that now he will accept her as his wife. When Lord Shiva was pleased with the penance of Parvati ji and accepted her, then Lord Shiva organized a whole Dev Sabha. Shiva and Parvati got married, in which gods, sages, and Gandharvas participated. After marriage, Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati started the journey of life together. This marriage was not only a symbol of devotion, but it also gives the message of love, restraint, and sacrifice in the world. This marriage of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati is considered sacred and auspicious on the day of Mahashivratri. On this day, devotees worship Shiva and express their devotion by staying awake all night. Importance of Mahashivratri. The festival of Mahashivratri is a special day for the worship of Lord Shiva. On this day, devotees keep fast, meditate on Shiva throughout the night, and chant his mantras. By worshipping Lord Shiva, especially on this day, all sins are eliminated and the devotee attains salvation. The significance of this day also lies in the fact that the marriage of Shiva Parvati signifies a new creation in the entire universe. This day is not only a day of affirmation of dharma, but it is a time when one moves towards self-reliance and inner peace. The festival of Mahashivratri symbolizes the saga of the marriage of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, which presents the best example of love, dedication, penance, and devotion. By worshipping on this day, a person attains peace and balance in life. Parvati's penance and the blessings of Lord Shiva teach us that if the devotion and dedication are true, then by the grace of God we get success and happiness in our life. The significance of Mahashivratri lies in the worship of Lord Shiva in both the physical and incorporeal forms. This fast is especially beneficial for those who seek salvation from Lord Shiva. The story of Shivratri is described in various texts and Puranas, but the most famous story is the one given in Shiva Mahapuran. According to the story, once there was a conflict between the gods and the demons. Both the gods and the demons were churning the ocean to obtain nectar. Among all the gems that came out of the churning, there was one gem that was the most amazing of all the gems. It was Kalkut, i.e. poison. This poison was so strong that even a single bit of it could destroy the universe. The gods prayed to Lord Shiva for help. Shiva drank that poison without any fear. After drinking the poison, Lord Shiva's throat turned blue, but he did not care about it. For this reason he is known as Neelkanthaya. Both the gods and the demons remained safe due to this grace of Shiva. According to another legend, the fast of Mahashivratri is observed since Brahma and Vishnu were competing with each other to know the existence of Lord Shiva. Both of them asked Lord Shiva who he is and who has supremacy. Lord Shiva demonstrated his amazing power to answer them to this competition. After this conversation between Brahma and Vishnu, Shiva revealed his divine form and told that he is omnipotent, and no one can know him, nor can anyone understand him. This fast commemorates this incident and symbolizes the greatness of Lord Shiva. By keeping special worship and fast on the day of Mahashivratri, a person gets mental peace, physical health, and spiritual advancement. This day is a day of dedication and devotion to Shiva. Method of Mahashivratri Vrat. On the day of Mahashivratri, devotees especially worship the Shivling. Belpatra, duba, water, milk, honey, gangajal, and sugar are offered in the puja. Along with this, by staying awake all night, one remains absorbed in the devotion of Lord Shiva. By fasting on Mahashivratri, all the sins of a person are eliminated and he gets the blessings of Lord Shiva. On this day, chanting the mantra Om Namah Shivaya is considered extremely auspicious. This mantra increases faith and devotion towards Lord Shiva. By fasting and worshipping Shiva, the soul gets peace and all the sorrows and pains of a person's life end. The day of Mahashivratri is especially a day of meditation and sadhana. It is believed that by worshipping Lord Shiva, all the sufferings of life end and happiness and prosperity come in the life of man. Apart from this, by fasting on this day, devotees get mental peace, self-realization and salvation. The story of Mahashivratri is very famous, and it is a special day of worship of Shiva. This day is very important for worshipping, praying and fasting Lord Shiva. Story. The story of Mahashivratri is about a time when Amrit Manthan took place between the gods and demons. The poison that came out of the churning was so deadly that no god or demon could digest it. Then all the gods went to Lord Shiva and prayed to him to hold this poison in his throat. Lord Shiva drank this poison from his jata, and that poison got stuck in his throat, due to which the color of his throat became blue and he was called Neelkanth. By observing the fast of Mahashivratri, all the sins of a person are eliminated, and he attains salvation by the grace of Lord Shiva. On this day, Shivling is especially worshipped, and devotees keep a 24 hour fasting fast. This day is also celebrated as the wedding day of Lord Shiva. It is believed that Shiva married Mother Parvati on this day. Keeping a night vigil on this day and taking the name of Lord Shiva is extremely fruitful. Benefits of the fast. By keeping the fast of Mahashivratri, all sins are eliminated. A person attains mental peace, happiness, prosperity and health. Difficulties in life are removed by the grace of Lord Shiva, and salvation is attained. Vrat Vidhi. Shivling should be worshipped with full faith and devotion on this day. Keep a 24 hour fast and stay awake at night. Chant Shiva mantras such as Om Namah Shivaya. Offer bel patra, milk, honey, ghee, sugar, water and fruits in the puja. Follow truth and non-violence on the day of Shivratri and stay away from wrong deeds. Story of Mahashivratri. Many divine forms of Lord Shiva are worshipped on the day of Mahashivratri. Once the ocean was churned between the gods and demons. Both nectar and poison came out of the churning. Everyone's life was in danger by drinking the poison. Lord Shiva wore poison in his neck, due to which his throat turned blue, and he became famous as Neelkanth. This incident proves that Lord Shiva is ready to bear suffering himself for the welfare of his devotees. While worshipping Lord Shiva on the night of Mahashivratri, offering abhishek of Shivling, Belpatra, Dhatura, milk, honey and water is very virtuous. By doing these works, the blessings of Lord Shiva are attained, and all the troubles of life are removed. Importance of Mahashivratri in Shiva Mahapuran. Special importance of Mahashivratri has been mentioned in Shiva Mahapuran. Once Parvati asked Lord Shiva what kind of fast should be kept on the day of Mahashivratri. Lord Shiva told him that fasting and staying awake all night on Mahashivratri brings great virtue. Worshipping Lord Shiva on this day leads to attainment of virtue, and all sins are destroyed. Devotees who observe fast on this day are free from all the sorrows of life and receive the blessings of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva also said that people who are engrossed in meditation, sadhana, and devotion on the day of Mahashivratri do not face any obstacles in their lives. Also, people who worship Shivling on this day are blessed with peace, prosperity, and mental peace in their lives. Pujya Pandit Pradeep Ji Mishra's advice. Pujya Pandit Pradeep Ji Mishra talks about adopting the ideals of Lord Shiva in life, especially on the day of Mahashivratri. He tells that Lord Shiva presents us with the ideals of sacrifice, penance, and dedication. By worshipping him, we can remove the darkness from our lives and recognize the true nature of the soul. According to Shiva Mahapuran, the love and blessings of Lord Shiva are always ready for the devotees. If the devotees meditate on him with a true heart, then Lord Shiva gives them salvation and prosperity. Pandit Ji Mishra also said on the occasion of Mahashivratri that fasting on this day not only gives external purity but also internal purity. He tells that when we worship Shiva by controlling our mind and senses, then stability and balance comes in our life. By worshipping on this day, we get the special blessings of Lord Shiva and many positive changes happen in life. Glory of Mahashivratri. The glory of Mahashivratri is very amazing. This day inspires us to leave our negativity and move towards positivity. This day makes us understand that Lord Shiva is always with us to rescue us from all kinds of troubles. By worshipping him, every kind of happiness, prosperity, peace and power resides in the life of man. Also, those who observe fast and night vigil on this day, their sins are destroyed and their life becomes happy. The various ways of worshipping Lord Shiva, and especially the fasts done on Mahashivratri day, lead to the immense grace of Lord Shiva. Worshipping on this day not only brings material happiness but also spiritual progress. Every work done on Mahashivratri day brings eternal virtuous results, and this day brings a new light in the life of devotees. According to Shiva Mahapuran, the festival of Mahashivratri is a symbol of reverence and dedication towards the unique form of Lord Shiva. Once the gods and demons churned the ocean, from which both nectar and poison came out. The gods and demons struggled a lot to get the nectar, but the effect of the poison was too much. Drinking this poison spread fear everywhere in the world. Then Lord Shiva opened his mouth and swallowed that poison, due to which his throat turned blue and he became famous as Neelkanthaya. This incident makes it clear that Lord Shiva is ready to bear his sufferings for the welfare of his devotees. The importance of Mahashivratri increases even more due to this reason, because on this day Lord Shiva swallowed poison to protect the gods and the creatures of the earth, which symbolize the removal of the biggest suffering of life. Therefore, on Mahashivratri, Lord Shiva is worshipped, his glory is sung, and he is worshipped by Shiva devotees. The fast and worship of this day gives the message of peace, happiness and prosperity in the life of the devotees. Lord Shiva has described the glory of the fast observed on the day of Mahashivratri in Shiva Mahapuran and said that the devotees who fast on this day and stay awake at night complete their spiritual journey soon. According to Lord Shiva, fasting on this day not only brings material happiness but also spiritual progress. According to Shiva Mahapuran, the person who worships Lord Shiva on the day of Mahashivratri, all his sins are destroyed and he attains salvation. Lord Shiva also told that by consecrating the Shivling on the day of Mahashivratri, prosperity resides in a person's life. It is also mentioned in Shiva Mahapuran that the devotees who chant the mantras of Lord Shiva achieve success in every field of their life. On this day, especially the chanting of Om Namah Shivay mantra is extremely virtuous. Due to its effect, no disturbance or problem comes in a person's life, and with the grace of Lord Shiva, his life becomes easy and happy. The glory of Mahashivratri is infinite. This festival teaches us that no matter how many difficulties and problems there are in life, we can overcome them by worshipping Lord Shiva. Fasting on the day of Mahashivratri not only brings peace and prosperity in life, but also gives a person spiritual progress and salvation. This day is a unique opportunity when we can get the blessings of Lord Shiva and give direction to our life. Worshipping Mahashivratri not only brings material happiness but also spiritual peace. Worshipping Lord Shiva ends all the sins of life and ends all kinds of obstacles. This day symbolizes a special blessing for the devotees of Lord Shiva, who guides them at every turn of life and inspires them to move in the right direction. Shivratri Katha on this day, by listening to the miraculous story of Shivratri, Bholanath fulfills all the wishes. Lord Shiva is worshipped as the protector, destroyer and creator of the entire universe. His infinite form and power are described in various Puranas and religious texts. The worship of Shivratri is a unique opportunity to worship him. By worshipping Lord Shiva on this day, his devotees attain virtue and all their wishes are fulfilled. Importance of Shivratri. The day of Mahashivratri is a special occasion for Lord Shiva as well as his devotees. This day is for those devotees who want to express their devotion towards the infinite form and powers of Lord Shiva. The fast of Shivratri is considered difficult because on this day, a fast is kept for only one day and Shiva is worshipped by staying awake all night. On the day of Mahashivratri, people especially fasting worship the Shivling and especially chant the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. This day is seen as a time when worshipping Lord Shiva destroys sins and bestows virtue. The miraculous story of Shivratri. Once upon a time, there lived a simple Brahman in a small village. He used to worship Lord Shiva and observe fasts every day. His wife was also very devout, but she did not follow her husband's worship. One day the Brahman's wife thought why not observe a fast and worship Lord Shiva on the day of Mahashivratri. But her condition was such that she could not fast all day, so she played a trick. She thought, if I stay awake all night and meditate on Lord Shiva, I will also get virtue. So she stayed awake at night and started meditating on Lord Shiva. But she got very tired and fell asleep. Seeing the devotion of the devotee of Lord Shiva, he went to her husband and blessed him. Lord Shiva said, I will fulfill all your wishes because you have shown devotion towards me with a true heart. On this the Brahmani said, Lord, I did not do any special worship. I was just meditating on you with my devotion. Lord Shiva said, due to this simple worship and devotion, prosperity will come to your house. Your every wish will be fulfilled. After this, Lord Shiva blessed that Brahmani and happiness and peace was attained in her house. Her whole lifestyle changed and Lord Shiva gave her prosperity and success in every sphere of life. The message from this story is that Lord Shiva never rejects the true faith and devotion of his devotees, no matter how simple that worship is. How to observe Shivratri fast? The following steps are followed to observe Shivratri fast. Holy bath. On the day of Mahashivratri, take a bath in the morning and attain purity. This purity should be at both physical and mental levels. Worship of Shivling. Install a picture of Lord Shiva or Shivling in the house. First of all, bathe him by offering Gangajal, milk, honey, and water on it. Then offer Belpatra, Akshat, flowers, etc. Also chant the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. Fasting. Fast on the day of Mahashivratri by fasting. Stay awake all night and worship Shiva and listen to stories about him. If possible, listen to the story of Shiva Mahimna, Rudrashtak or Shivcharit. Sadhana and meditation. While meditating all night, imagine the form of Lord Shiva and contemplate on his divine qualities. Express your faith and devotion towards him. Abandonment of food. On this day, the fasting people not only fast, but also do not eat any kind of bhog or tamasic food. Only fruits are taken. Ratri Jagran. Stay awake all night and chant the mantras of Lord Shiva. This gives peace to the soul and purifies the body. Archana and Prasad. At the end of the worship, offer Belpatra, water, milk, sandalwood, flowers, etc. to Lord Shiva. Then distribute the prasad and bless your family, friends. Blessings of Mahashivratri. By fasting and worshipping Lord Shiva on the day of Mahashivratri, man gets success in every field of life. Worshipping on this day ends all the sorrows of life and gives peace to the soul. This is why this day is considered highly auspicious. The person who fasts and worships Shivratri with a true heart, all his wishes are fulfilled and he gets happiness, peace and prosperity in life. The story of Shivratri teaches us that Lord Shiva definitely gives the fruit of every effort made with faith and devotion. No matter what kind of worship is done, if there is faith and belief in the mind, then Lord Shiva never disappoints his devotees. Worshipping on this day brings positive changes in life, and we get freedom from our sins. Thus, worshipping and revering Lord Shiva on the day of Mahashivratri can bring miraculous changes in life. Dear friend, Namaste. Hope you are healthy and happy. Today I want to tell you in detail about an important and sacred Hindu festival, Mahashivratri. This fast is especially associated with the worship and veneration of Lord Shiva, and it has special significance throughout India. The fast of Mahashivratri is an occasion when devotees of Lord Shiva try to obtain his blessings and grace through their worship. In this letter, I will tell you in detail about the Mahashivratri Vrat Katha, so that you can know the significance of this great fast and the right way to follow it. Importance of Mahashivratri. The festival of Mahashivratri is celebrated every year on the Chaturdashi of Krishna Paksh of Falgun month. This is the main and best worship day of Lord Shiva. The word Mahashivratri means the great night fast of Shiva. On this day, devotees especially fast and worship Lord Shiva and remember him. This day is a day for devotees to wash away their sins and attain spiritual purity. By observing a fast on this day, all the sorrows, poverty and sins of a person are eliminated, and by the grace of Lord Shiva, he attains salvation. There is no better day than Mahashivratri to worship Lord Shiva. Worship on this day can bring positive changes in the faith, belief and life of every human being. This day provides an opportunity to improve our lives so that we can attain spiritual peace and divinity. Mahashivratri Vrat Katha. The story of worshipping Lord Shiva on the day of Mahashivratri is very famous. By following this story, devotees can get rid of their sins and get the blessings of Lord Shiva. Marriage of Lord Shiva and importance of night. The day of Mahashivratri is also associated with the marriage of Lord Shiva. Once upon a time, Lord Shiva and goddess Parvati were married. Parvati had true love for Lord Shiva, and she pleased Shiva by performing hard penance. Lord Shiva granted her the boon that she would become his wife. Lord Shiva also told that this day will be celebrated as Mahashivratri. This night is specially dedicated to the meditation and worship of Lord Shiva. Shiva and Parvati met on this day, which further increased the importance of Mahashivratri. Brahmins' sin liberation and worship of Mahashivratri. In ancient times, there was a son of a Brahman who was a very sinful and atheist. He always used intoxicants and did wrong deeds. Due to his sins, his soul was always sad. One day he was extremely suffering due to his sins, and he was not getting a solution for it. He went to a saint and asked him about his sins. The saint told him the story of Mahashivratri Vrat and told that by observing a fast of Lord Shiva on this day, all sins are destroyed and Shiva's grace is attained. The son of the Brahman decides to perform this fast and keeps a fast on the day of Mahashivratri. He resolves that he will stay awake all night meditating and worshipping Lord Shiva. He offered water on the shivling, offered bell leaves, and chanted the mantras of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva saw his devotion and purified his soul. The next day, when the son of the Brahman finishes the worship, Lord Shiva purified his soul and freed him from sins. Lord Shiva appeared to him and said, "You have worshipped me with a true heart. Now all your sins are over." Thus, it is clear in this story that the fast of Mahashivratri is a way to freedom from sins and spiritual purity. By observing this fast, every person gets the blessings of Lord Shiva and can turn his life in the right direction. Grace and darshan of Lord Shiva. There is another famous story in which a surrendered Brahman worshipped Lord Shiva on the day of Mahashivratri. That Brahman was very poor and struggled for his livelihood. One day, he decided to worship Lord Shiva and kept a fast on the day of Mahashivratri. He offered water to the shivling, offered bell leaves, and meditated on Lord Shiva throughout the night. Lord Shiva was very pleased with his devotion and gave him darshan. Lord Shiva blessed him that he would never be poor from now on and would always be happy. By the grace of Lord Shiva, that Brahman attains happiness and prosperity in life. Benefits of Mahashivratri Vrat. The fast of Mahashivratri provides many benefits. Here are some major benefits. Freedom from sins. By observing Mahashivratri fast, all sins are destroyed and the person attains peace and virtue. Spiritual advancement. By meditating and worshipping Lord Shiva on this day, a person progresses spiritually. He recognizes the objectives of his life and attains spiritual peace. Fulfillment of all desires. By performing special worship of Lord Shiva on this day, all desires are fulfilled. The wishes of the devotee are fulfilled. Boost in morale. The fast of Mahashivratri boosts the morale of a person, and he faces the difficult struggles of life with patience and courage. All-pervading blessings. The devotee gets all kinds of prosperity, happiness, and peace by the grace of Lord Shiva. How to observe the fast? The fast of Mahashivratri is very simple, but it can also be difficult if it is not observed correctly. The following is how to observe the fast. Fasting. It is mandatory to observe fast on the day of Mahashivratri. You can only consume water. Worship of Shivling. Offer water to the Shivling throughout the night.